Hello YouTube, got another one. It's been a hot minute since I've put anything out on the internet. I've just been basically tinkering it, trying to make an ISO since I've got my new ISO creation tool. It really isn't really helping. The fact that you can't install the ISOs, but that's what I'm doing a video about today. So we're currently got a virtual machine open and we're installing the file system. I've had to do some things in the background and some tests. This took about 2.5 weeks, if not a little bit longer, but we've got my ISO mounted. I'm pretty sure it's to do with a file that wasn't created during the process, so like the mount folder wasn't created, but I'm yet to test that. But the command that actually allows me to view the ISO and then it's obviously using the mount folder works perfectly fine, to be honest. So I'm just installing the file system and I've had no issues. Obviously watch this in the video. I'm using ArchKD as is myself, to be honest. The main aim of this is to try and get Mustang updated, so we'll just get this to install quickly and see how it goes. Everything should be all set up perfectly fine to install and we shouldn't have any issues afterwards. But this is what I'm doing my test for today. Currently on 46% and it's only going up. Also, I'm generating a new script, so this should allow me to select a folder that's already directly in here with my system already with the mount folder. So we're going to test it with the mount folder and see how that goes, because obviously it's not helping that the mount folder is not there. That might actually be the issue that I'm having. So it's currently just installing all of the stuff. I don't know how else to prove that this is actually an ISO that I've created with my tool, other than the fact that I've had to mount the ISO under this directory here and then set up the calendarize to use that directory. So I don't know how this is going to plan out, if it's going to boot or whatever else after this is fully installed, but that's what we're doing right now. That's what I'm showing right now, so there might be an error here or whatever else. I'm doing my tests. Then I'm going to move on. I'm going to try the mount folder because it wasn't added last time. I'm going to create a squash FS of that, then turn that into an ISO and then give it another test and see if it would just mount straight away under Arch. Is it /dev/arch ISO/boot mount, and sometimes it will go to copy to RAM. So I can actually change it so it doesn't copy to RAM and it'll just boot directly from the file. I've worked out how to change all of that. But yeah, this video is just to show what really I have been doing behind the scenes, really. Since there was a lot that I had to do and test for it to work, and obviously there are going to be problems, and that's what I really show on the videos. I can't keep posting every single day now. Anyway, we're going to see where this goes, see how far we can get. System says it's going to reboot. Calendarize has said that it's all fine. But when it comes to obviously now the UEFI bootloader, we're going to find out exactly how this works. So we might have an issue with the bootloader, we don't know, because this is what we're testing now. Well, it just seems to be that it works perfectly fine. TTY error. Well, this is what we're doing. So the device does not show up. This is what we're testing. Obviously this will be a grub error. But yeah, moving forward, I've fixed one problem, now we'll move on to the next. So the next issue will obviously be either grub or something else that I can look into. So it said it can't access the TTY. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some testing to see where this goes now. Obviously I'm able to install the Squash FS, I'm able to create a Squash FS. Obviously worked out how to mount it under the mount. and this is obviously just something to do with the device not showing up, or obviously not being set up during the cloning procedure. So the cloning procedure, obviously the files here, we are missing the boot files, so that will probably be what it is. I have put on the internet that I'm not a genius. I'm working on it, and I am aware that some things have been missed out, and some things obviously I wasn't aware of, and well, that's what I'm learning. You know, this is a project for myself. I wouldn't really want to be getting anyone else involved, down to the fact that, you know, it is my code. I don't really want to be sharing it or anything like that. I'll rather be improving it myself. If I couldn't do it, I'd just obviously wipe the slate clean and say, oh, I can't do this. But it is a working project, and I'm studying hard to get this project to a working state. So obviously at the moment we've got a grub boot error because nothing has been cloned correctly. So obviously that would be the fact that if we go to our system, you're going to see that the EFI is not cloned. I mean, it's not going to show that because that's a root. These files have not been cloned, so this is what's going to be obviously needed in that squashfs. So we'll be adding this into the squashfs now. These two, the init ramfs is generated, so there's no point copying that over. It might corrupt the file. You can copy this over perfectly fine, and these files here. But these two files here have to be generated, well, one file, because it'll only be one file, and it's normally, well, it depends on your system, and it's the boot, it's the grub CFG that you configure to run these files depending on the name. So obviously the one that we're using would, if we go back to the system clone, the ones we're using is these files here. It might even be that they're incorrect, or they are correct, because obviously they're from my system, so they're generating from Zen. But yeah, moving forward, I just wanted to show that there is progress being done by myself. I'm sorry I haven't put out any ISOs. I just wanted to make a project, an ISO creation application. You know, there's many applications out there on the internet that are saying use ArchISO and RTools, and basically what they're doing is they've got their own custom config of ArchISO, and then you download all the packages and whatnot. Well, I'll rather clone my system without having to use internet. So if you want to install your system onto another system, you don't need internet to download all the packages every single time you want to put a new system on your system. I just think, you know, that is one way of doing it, but I'd rather have an ISO, and that's why I haven't put anything out at the moment. I really am focusing on getting this just top notch. So there is some things I can show in this video. There isn't much I can show. The last thing I will leave it at is that I am doing a new, I've got a new UI for my ISO creator. I've updated it a little bit. We've got this new bit here. We can also copy the VM linears, generate the init ramfs. You can change the boot artwork now, and it works perfectly fine. Also, you can change the ISO Linux, so that will actually open up the ISO Linux, and you can edit the file. Although the ISO tag will be that for the moment. I might just change that to 2024, to be honest. But yeah, you can generate an ISO. I'm actually using the ISO from here. Obviously, I didn't copy the correct boot files to be booting the ISO after it's been installed, but that's all in the process of testing. I am fully aware of that. I'm not a genius, I'm working on it. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm sorry that I haven't really been putting out much. If you are waiting for an update on one of my ISOs, please just wait for this project to be somewhat, you know, ready. And it will be, because I've just found out today, you know, bits and bobs and whatnot, and I'm fully aware what I've missed out on. So yeah, I'm just working now to get it all as one piece, and hopefully get up on the internet within a few days. You know, there's not really any projects out there at the moment that are doing what I'm doing, apart from Penguin's Eggs, really. And that's a console tool. This is an application, it's Qt6, that I could turn into GTK, or I could turn it into Bash, or I could turn it into anything I want, because it's my scripts. And the new scripts have all been updated into C++, and they're all binary files. So yeah, I mean, if you want to run these files or try and get the code out of them, then you're going to be looking at all of these blocks. I mean, you can decrypt this somehow. It does say on the bot that you can decrypt it, but it might take a long while. But at the end of the day, you know, I just prefer C++. It's just easier to work with. I mean, you do need to have the C++ version that it was compiled with, but at the end of the day, we are running Arch. So Arch is the latest and greatest, and that's why I use it. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching today. I'm going to put this video up now. Maybe in a few days, this tool will be ready and out on the internet, and I'll have a few more ISOs ready for people to download. I mean, I'll be honest, amongst all of this, to be honest, I've accidentally wiped my USB. So most of my work that I've done for my system app has been wiped. So the files are already there, so I could just copy them over to another Arch ISO. But if I want to update the system app itself, I'm going to have to probably start from scratch. I've got some old versions of it. I'm more than likely just going to start from scratch. Well, what I'll do is I'll create a new ISO and I'll just put the new stuff on it, and I'll say, you know, in a newer version, because obviously this is pretty much, you know, ready to go. It's all good, it works, and you can use the console script, which is what I've lost, and you can also use the Qt6 app without any issues. So yeah, I'm more than likely just going to change the UI. I'm going to keep the console script. I'm going to change the UI of this to more of a picture and some things, and well, you can download new updates that I haven't put out at the moment. You can install the KD dev, which is pretty cool. But yeah, amongst all of this trouble of making my ISO creation tool, I've lost a lot of things now, which I'm not worried about, because today I finally got somewhere with actually creating actually getting somewhere with my application. But yeah, thank you for watching, and that'll be it for me today.